Hello, light workers, light bearers, those who carry the torches for the rest. Welcome to Friday, and today I'm talking about whether we are on track or not. Are we on track? Are we heading in the right direction? Is it going faster, slower? Are we moving or what? I'll see you in the next bit. Let me tell you what happened the other day. The other day I had to go into Torrejón de Ardoz, which is a city, we would call it a city, not that far away from here. We had to go as a family, 2 children, wife and me. We had to go to like a solicitor's office to do some paperwork. Okay. Now, we work from home. I do not like going out into that. Okay, and when I mean that, like anything outside of my home. Why? Because I then have to face the cold, harsh reality of where we are at the moment, and it was stressing me out. So what I noticed is if ever I have to go out to do something other than doing the shopping, which I've kind of normalized now, I notice that I get myself, I'm not feeling comfortable. I'm not feeling right. Okay. So I wasn't feeling very good for the day before. I knew that we were going to all have to go as a family. Now, why is that? Because I do not want to wear the mask. Now, the mask is mandated in Spain. They will fine you if you don't wear the mask, apparently. Okay, even though the fines don't stand up because they're illegal. And then my 2 sons haven't put the mask on, or maybe one time. They go out and they don't wear masks. Now, my little son, he's only 4, so that's okay, because you don't have to start wearing it until you're beyond 6. But my other son is 9, and he should be wearing it, and he doesn't. Okay, so that's a stressor for me because of the way that not everybody, but some people take that very personally. And then, of course, Cynthia doesn't want to wear a mask either, so she has a lolly in her mouth. They're called here chupa chups. She has a lolly in her mouth so that she doesn't need to wear a mask. Okay, walking through the street. I don't want to wear a mask either. So, and of course everybody else is, or at least that's what I was thinking. And so that idea of, oh my God, we're going to have to go through the town. On principle, I cannot put a mask on walking through the street because I can't. And I just can't do it. No can Cynthia. And I don't want my children to do it. So we kind of become a bit of a spotlight. Yeah, a bit of a, oh my God, a whole family that's not wearing a mask. So that's why it stresses me out. However, we walked down. We had to go from the parking down, and we all did our little thing. There really wasn't a problem. We even got to the point where there were 2 policemen in the square walking toward us. Now, what I did was I had my mask on my chin. The reason was because none of the rest of my family had a mask on, and I was thinking, right, I don't want to call too much attention to ourselves. So I had it on my chin. The 2 policemen looked at us, turned to one side and walked away. Okay? Now, I thought, wow, they don't want any hassle on this. And I've heard tell that lots and lots and lots of police are just saying, we are not going to police this. We can't police this. This is too much, yeah? So that was interesting. On the way back, I just couldn't help but notice how many people had their masks on their chins. It was a sunny day, okay, but it wasn't hot. But lots and lots of people under the nose, on the chin. And when I say lots, I'm talking about lots in comparison to before. I'm not talking about everybody. The vast majority of people had the mask on. You know, some people have got it so much of a one that it looks like they're pressurizing their eyes. Incredible. But there were lots, some people like that, And what I noticed, there was a pattern about them. They were all walking as if they didn't give a shit. And we were walking as if we didn't give a shit, smiling, laughing between ourselves. And it was fine. It was fine. So anyway, I got back, and when I was doing my meditation, I said to the emissaries, I said, look, I really get stressed in these situations because I know that I've got to go into the world of madness, and it stresses me. Any advice? And they said, I mean, the advice that they give is always very straightforward advice I could give somebody, but of course when it's for yourself, you don't always see it. And they said, the first problem you've got is that you were calling it a world of madness, of mad people. Now that's frightening, that's scary, that's going to make you feel agitated. So they said, it would be better if you reframed it and called it a world of sleeping people, the land of the sleeping. Okay, and I thought, yeah, that's much less aggressive, that's much less scary, isn't it? The land of the sleeping compared to the land of the mad. Okay, so I thought, yeah, that's good advice. They're going in with the sleepers. Yeah, and then they said, now think about this. Imagine in your house there's a room that is filled with people who were sleeping. Now you are going to avoid that room as much as possible. You're not going to go near it if you can help it. But if you do have to go into that room, then what do? You tiptoe into the room, you do what you have to do, making as little noise as possible, and then you tiptoe back out again. And they said, so when you go into the world of the sleeping, that's what you should do. And really what they were saying was, don't go in and make a load of noise. Don't go in and bring lots and lots of attention to yourself. Call attention to yourself. Don't go in aggressively. This is what they were saying to me. Don't go in with something to prove. I'm going to show you that I don't wear a mask. They were saying, you just tiptoe in, do what you have to do, and come out. And they said, these people are sleeping. They are not interested in you. Do your thing, come out. But they weren't saying go in and wear a mask. They were saying just go in. Just don't try and attract attention to yourself, because I understand that some people do. Some people go in and go, I'll show them. I'm not wearing a mask. And they were saying, just go in, do it, and come back out again. And remember that if you go into a room of people who are asleep and you start shouting, they're going to wake up and they're going to be really pissed off at you. That's what sleeping people, when somebody wakes you up abruptly, and especially when you do not want to be woken up, you get really angry. That's what happens if you go in and make a lot of noise. So I took on board that, and I thought, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That we don't have to, we're not there to wake people up. We're going in there to do what we have to do, and then we're coming out again. Okay, I think that's fair enough. We've got stickers. I'll show you. So we made these little stickers. The printer doesn't do very well on the outside, but basically they're in Spanish, obviously. But it's just a little sticker that is big enough to put on a shopping trolley, for example, somewhere where it could be seen. And it just says, for example, in 2017 and 18 in Spain, 700,000 cases of flu, 15,000 deaths from flu. And in 2020, 5 cases of flu, 0 deaths. Doesn't it seem strange to you? That's the sticker. So what we're going to do, what we're doing is basically just taking them and just sticking them, going into the land of the sleeping and putting a little sticker there, and then coming out. And the sticker is what might do a little job, because if you put a sticker that asks a question, remember, we mustn't do this and criticize people. It isn't attack, you sleeping sheep, blah blah blah. That will not wake anybody up. People don't get woken up by when they're attacked. The natural thing is for everybody is we go on defense, so they will defend their position if we attack them. But if you just put some information and a question, doesn't that seem strange to you? There's nothing attacking in that. It's inviting. Remember, it's the martial art. You're not pushing, you're pulling. And that could well be a nice little question to wake somebody up. Who knows? If it doesn't matter. It makes me feel better when I leave a sticker. I feel that I've done something. Okay, so that's an interesting little thing to do. Obviously, don't get caught because you'll get fined for littering or whatever. So that's what they said to me. Just think of them as sleeping, and that's, behave accordingly. So then I went on to ask them, are we on track? Okay, because that day I thought I'm not seeing. That day I felt that it's almost like I'd seen lots and lots of movement and good things, and then kind of, have we ground to a halt? Is this actually moving, or are we just in status quo? Is it going to improve? So that's exactly what I said to them. I said, it seems like it's slowing down to me. And they said, and these were their words, on the contrary, it's getting faster. Okay? But they were very, very firm in that. On the contrary, it's getting faster. And they said, do not judge. Do not make judgments based on outward appearances. Don't judge what you're seeing, because that's the outward appearance. And then they give me, as they always do, a beautiful metaphor, which was this. They showed me a caterpillar chrysalis. They said, when a caterpillar enters into a chrysalis, the chrysalis is formed, and then you see nothing except a very ugly chrysalis. Typically, chrysalises are not attractive. They're ugly. They're just there, plonked, and they don't change in ages. It looks the same. Every time you look at them, the same. Every time you look at them, the same. But they said, on the inside, there's a metamorphosis occurring. This change occurring that you cannot perceive. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, a butterfly emerges. And they were saying this is exactly what's happening. On the face of it, from the outside, everything looks the same. They said, but you don't know what's going on inside of those people. There is a metamorphosis happening. And I must say that it is something that I'm aware of, even within my immediate family, that there's this rumbling happening, this discontent, there's something wrong with this picture. What's going on? Why is this going on forever? What is going on? Okay? And that's what they were telling me, that there is a lot going on. There's a lot going on the inside of people. Not everybody, but more and more and more. And so we mustn't judge just because we go along into the street. I go into the street and I see everybody with masks. That doesn't mean that everybody's wearing masks because they believe it. In fact, the gut feel that I have is that probably about 80 to 90% of all of the people in Spain who are wearing masks because they do not want a fine. And if it's not the fine that they're worried about, they are worried about the fine regardless. It's also what the opinion of everybody else is. They're worried about what other people think. They're the two motivations. And then there's a very small amount of people who actually believe this shit. Yeah? Very small amount. The majority of people, even the conversations that people are having about that woman, Maxine, they're talking about it not because they believe the narrative, it's because they want to be a good citizen. They want other people to think highly of them. They want to be working for the greater good because that's what they've been sold. Yeah? Here in Spain, and they're starting to drag out, they're desperate now, by the way, because there's such a lot of bad stuff happening now with this, such a lot of bad stuff and such a lot of bad reports. And they're starting to drag out, these medium stars, not the top stars. These like people that are like no mark stars coming out and telling everybody that they have to do it for the greater good. I watched a video of Dolly Parton, who was getting it, probably a fake one as usual, and she was saying, I've changed the words to the song, and she started to sing Jolene, but instead of singing Jolene, she was singing Maxine. And I thought, how low can they stoop? How desperate do they have to be to start enrolling these sort of half star? I mean, Dolly Parton's very famous, I understand that, but she was enrolling these stars to make absolute arses of themselves, which is effectively what they're doing. They're making an arse of themselves to try and sell something that clearly now people don't want here in Spain. The queues waiting for that have dropped so dramatically now. They're like, because it's like, how many times are they going to cancel and put on hold this thing for all these ab reactions and these blood clots and all kinds of stuff like that are happening? How long are they going to, at what point are people going to say, bit of an error there, bit of an error? I don't know. Hopefully soon, because if not, we've got an awful lot of people that are going to be damaged, an awful lot of people, and it's awful, but there you are. There's nothing that we can do about it. They're the sleeping people. We tiptoe in, we tiptoe out. But the great thing about all of this is that things are changing. Everything is moving forward. The level of consciousness within mankind is lifting. It has to lift. There is no way out. There's no way out of it. There's no way. The only people that stay in that heaviness are the ones who are clearly drugged. They're under a drug, hypnosis, psychic vampire entities, whatever you want to call them, they're stuck there. But that's becoming less and less viable as a place to stay. And the more that we go on and the more that becomes revealed, because we are in the times of revelation, everything's been revealed. The more that's revealed, the more that they're going to unstick. They're going to come unstuck in every way. Yeah. And so I feel really positive, and so do the emissaries feel really positive. And they say that everything is on track. And so all that we need to do, all that you and I need to do, is to keep ourselves in the right frame of mind. And I know that's not always easy, but how we can help this process is by lifting up our spirits, is by doing the right thing always, is by being creative, is by helping those, is by uniting. All of the people who are awake, we unite. When we unite, what happens is we all get lifted. Our Telegram group, everybody comes together and starts helping one another about sometimes the most mundane things. It doesn't matter. And what happens is that just lifts up your spirit. You have a nice interaction with somebody who doesn't criticize what you're saying, somebody who actually agrees with what you're saying, and wow, you feel so much better. That's our job, is to unite and to help one another. And the more that we do that, the more vibration, that beautiful light we're going to give off, and the more that we're going to attract other people to us. Okay? So that's our job. So don't think it's overwhelming. It's easy. Unite and light up the lights. Okay. Have a lovely weekend. I'll see you on Monday.